Hey, welcome back once again, Knicks fans. Just wanted to do another draft video, but this one I wanted to focus on the guys that are here, the guys that the New York Knicks did pick. So let me get one thing straight. The last video that I did, it was very negative, right? Obviously, I really went at the front office with a lot of the decisions they've made. And but hey, let's to get one thing clear. I'm a big Knicks fan, love this organization, and I really hope the front office I hope they prove me wrong, and I really hope they know what they're doing. I hope they can salvage basically what's happened during the draft. At least I hope they can basically use those picks that they've gotten to actually to get what they need to build this build out this roster the right way, right? And the only reason I'm frustrated is because like we had a losing season last year, and we know how Dolan is, and we know how New York is. It's not even really just New York. It's not really just Dolan. It's really New York because New York, we're very vocal. We make our opinion known, and we don't like to watch losing basketball for too long. And so you best believe that like this, if we have another bad season, the fans are going to make their voice heard. And I don't know if Dolan is going to allow these guys to stay another season if they have another losing season and things don't work out. But that's where it comes from. It just comes out of frustration, and I don't want to see another regime change. I'm just really tired of it, right? So now that's out of the way. Again, like I said, I wish well to the front office and the coach. I really do hope we have a good season. I hope they have a great season, right? And so, but let's focus on these two young guys that they got, which actually I really like. I really do like these moves. When a front office actually, in terms of drafting, I do like the players they draft. They draft kids that are seems like they've always drafted very good high character individuals, kids that work really hard. It seems like they want to be here, they want to play ball, and they're doggish in their approach to the game in terms of preparing and practicing, which is really cool. And so we're going to go over these two players one by one. We're going to start with Trevor Keels. And Trevor Keels, he's from Duke, 6'4", 220. Strong kid, very strong frame. And right off the back, the thing that jumps out on screen to me is like his ability to actually get in the lane and also to absorb contact and finish through contact sometimes. And I also want to make sure everyone knows this kid is a freshman. He was a freshman. So I think he might be like 19 years old now or something like that. But he's a very young kid, and he's already got like some really strong attributes, and some of those attributes are his strength, and he's got very good handle, which allows him to get wherever he wants to go. He can, and also it allows him to get in the paint. The other strong attribute he has, he's a very good playmaker, right? These aren't like some of these attributes I'm talking about now is not like oh, he has a little bit of this, he has a little bit of that. These are actually very good strong attributes that this kid has, which I think can actually propel him into a very good basketball player in this league if he puts in the work, if he actually follows the program the organization has for him for development. I really do think he's got what it takes to be very good. I mean, he's not very efficient right now, but we have to keep in mind guards, especially young guards, tend to be inefficient because they're still trying to learn the game and learn how to play. And so, if we can get him the right coaching, uh, and he understands how to prepare and how to watch film. I really think, I really like this kid, and I like his ability to be much better in the future. Now, the only thing that he needs to work on, that he should improve on, is lateral quickness is a problem for him. It looks like he gets beat off the dribble quite often, and I haven't looked at all his defensive stats to see how it all like translates. What I'm seeing on film, how it actually translates on in terms of statistic and its impact on his team being able to win ball games or lose ball games. However, something I hope he can really work on and improve on. The other thing I notice is like finishing at the rim. He's not a very good finisher at the rim. He's able to do it sometimes, but he needs to work on it more, be more consistent finishing at the rim. But I think a lot of that has to do with because he gets a lot of foul calls, and so I think he's very aggressive going to the basket because because he figures he's either going to be able to finish or he's going to get the foul call. But he's only 19 years old, and so I think it's something that he's going to work on and work through, and he's going to be fine. And so I really like this kid, and I think the New York Knicks actually made a great pick here. And like it's amazing when these guys, and that's why it's so frustrating, because when they make picks, they do a pretty good job picking these young talents. So maybe I guess we should trust the fact that they didn't pick anyone at that 11th pick, right? And they traded away. But in my opinion, I just don't. I just always feel like when you're not a good team, and I went through the stats with like all of our basically the guys that take all the shots on the team, the guys that take about 80% of the shots on the team, they're all shooting like 41% or below, and so that's a big problem. And so if you're in that situation, you need to pick someone. You need to get some good offensive talent, so you can start building. Going back to Trevor Keels, the one thing that was interesting about him talking about efficiency, he was very up and down, right? So the crazy thing is like, so it wasn't even like he consistently shot bad from one, like, throughout all the months, right? It was like he shot, he was inefficient one month and then was efficient another month. Then he was inefficient like the next month, January. So basically in November, he was inefficient. December, he was efficient. January, he was an inefficient again. February, he was very efficient. March, he was slightly inefficient, but it was kind of trending up in March, right? And then he finished up April strong, but it was only one game that he played in April. And he actually had a very good game in April. Only one game that he played, and he scored 19 points. So that was very encouraging to see. But he was really up and down, and so it actually made me thought. Like I was like, man, I really wish I had a family member that was in the NBA, right? Who's a professional basketball player, because I would really love to. Like, this is very interesting. I wish I was related to this kid because I would love to see I would love to see everything about him, what he does, his preparation, his life habits, because it's so interesting to see how he was up and down from one month to the next, right? And so I'm wondering what the difference was from one month to the next. But the one thing I did like, as he went from January into April, it trended up. So basically, his down month in March was basically wasn't as down as it was in January. So it seems like he was kind of like he was still wildly inconsistent one month to the next. However, it was kind of trending in the right direction. It was trending towards more efficiency, better efficiency. So it's really good. It was really interesting to see that, to look at those splits. But it's really great to see, right? And so the next player I really wanted to talk about is G Montero. Now, G Montero is an international man of mystery. I borrowed that term from. There's a guy, I think it's Draft Junkies. He uses that term sometimes. I can't remember his name, but shout out to that guy. He's really cool and does great work. And so Gene Montero, and actually this is, I looked at Drive Junkies, uh, his review on this kid, and the kid is very interesting. He's really good. He's extremely talented. He's only 18. He's about to turn 19. As a matter of fact, he's turning 19 in a few days. On July 3rd, he's going to be 19 years old, and he's from the Dominican Republic. And so there's not a, I guess the leagues he's played in, they're all in the Dominican Republic, I guess it looks like. And all the games he played for 2020, 2021, he shot 40% from the field. So what's interesting is, I guess he didn't play any games 2021 to 2022. So that was really interesting. Hopefully he spent the whole year just working out, really working on his craft and getting ready to get into the league. And so, but one thing you see about this kid right off the back is like, especially when you watch not just the highlights, even the analysis on him, this kid can get to the basket whenever he wants to get there. He just needs to work. And like I said, he's only 18 years old. And so young kids tend to be very inefficient sometimes. And so with a lot of work, I think he can be a very good NBA player. But, like I said, all this stuff, it requires work and it requires a lot of discipline. But given how the New York Knicks are, given this coaching staff, this coach that we have, not only does he have a plan for development for his young guys, he has standards, and so it's something they're going to have to do if they want to stay on this team, if they want to make the team, and if they want to get playing time in the future. And so that's the thing I like about him. The only downside I saw with this kid is, he just needs to. He's young, so he needs to work on efficiency. he needs to work on decision making. At least that's what I saw from watching some of the analysis. And you know that's pretty much what I have to say about this kid. But he's really good. I'm really excited about this pick. Like I said again, you know, it's with these two picks, I really like what the New York Knicks did. I really like these two pickups. And again, when they do actually make a pick, they do a good job. You know, I always like is that I always like everyone they pick, and they always tend to pick guys that have, you know, pretty high character guys, and you know, guys that work hard. So I definitely believe these guys are the same way, and so if they're the same way, given the kind of some of the strong attributes they have, I think the sky's the limits for these guys. I'm not saying they're going to be all stars, but they're going to be very good NBA players because they have a lot, you know, a lot going for themselves, to tell you the truth. G Montero, the fact that he's got very good handle, very fast, can get to the rim at will. That's an excellent attribute for, you know, coming into the NBA. So he just needs to work on the rest, right? And then Trevor Keels is the same. He's not as fast as G Montero, but Trevor Kills, he's very strong, great handle, can get wherever he wants in the paint. And he's actually sometimes he's able to finish. He needs to work on finishing more consistently, but he's able to get there. And so he's got a lot of strong attributes. You know, and then the other strong attribute is playmaking, you know. And so these are very two interesting players. Love the Knicks picked them up again. And just a word about the draft. You know, the draft is like, it's one of my favorite programs to watch. You know, every year I always look forward to the NBA drafts. I really enjoy watching it. Is my favorite show to watch. And the reason it's my favorite show to watch is because you have these kids, they've dedicated their whole life to a craft, right? They've been doing it. Sometimes some of them are late bloomers. They started like 12, 13. And you get some of them who've been playing, they've been playing since 5, 6 years old. But just think about to be dedicated to a craft, right? Like these kids are over so many years, and then it just kind of everything, all that hard work, everything kind of gets rolled up into this one moment, and then in this one moment basically you're recognized for your hard work uh, by the NBA or a team saying like, okay, you've made it and you've reached this major milestone in your life and in your career. And so it just is something really cool to see, something really cool to watch, because like it's amazing to me. These are literally kids, you know, literally these are kids dedicating their lives to something and really working hard. And by the time they're 18 and 19, they're like the best in the world at something. I remember when I was 19 years old, I was not the best at anything. You know, it's like, you know, and you know, I love my life. I think I did pretty okay in life. You know, I have a great family, have a great career. But to me, it's just amazing. I love watching the draft, and I love watching these kids just like, you know, just kind of hitting this milestone. And so, again, you know, it's a great feel good story, and so I'm always enjoy watching. The other thing too is like, you know, these kids are essentially the other part that we all obviously that's obvious that we all see, these kids are essentially saving their family in a lot of cases, right? Or maybe they're not necessarily saving them, but they're basically elevating their family to like a whole new way of living, right? They're basically lifting them up from one income status to another. I mean, that's got to be the coolest thing in the world, right? I think every kid in the world, you know, even me as a kid, just dreaming about doing something great and being so good at it and to be very well recognized, very well paid, to the point where you can basically share that wealth and share that experience with your family and, you know, your immediate family and all that stuff. So it's just really cool to see. I mean, you can see sometimes like some people could be from like, you know, their parents are not as wealthy. They're like, you know, they're poor from a poor background. And like, you know, you see some of those stories, man, it's like it's the best, it's like the best thing in the world, you know. And also you see, you know, obviously other families, middle class, not saying all the families are struggling, but the ones that do struggle financially, I love seeing it. I just love seeing all of it. Like, you know, to see like that family just, you know, like being able to bask in the glory of of their offspring, and it's just really cool to see. And then, you know, and then just imagine you have a kid, your whole life you get to go like, it's good enough. Like honestly, it's already great enough to be able to like watch your kid playing sports as a kid. You get to watch all those games as a kid. You get to go to all the basketball games in high school and kind of share in all of that stuff. I mean, like, that's awesome. Like, I got two young boys, and I pray and hope they do any kind of sports, because it's really cool to watch your kids playing sports, and also to be able to get out there and support them and to see them have success of any kind. And so, but I just, sometimes I just try to imagine to see what it feels like to be one of these parents, right, for these kids, for either Trevor Keels or Jim Montero. And you get to sit there as a mom or as a dad and to watch your kid like all throughout grade school, all throughout high school. And, and it's like, it's so cool, right? And then even probably early on, I'm sure like their parents were like, was just rooting them on because they just love to play, and they're rooting their kids on, and it's something great to do. Uh, but sometimes you wonder, did they even ever think their kid was going to be in a situation, right? But the fact that they get to do all that, that is already like, like heaven to me, to be able to watch your kids play sport. But then to be at this point where you get to see your kid just like hit this major milestone, man, it's unbelievable. I mean, I watched like the kid who plays for Memphis, like his dad. Oh my goodness, his dad is in heaven. It's got to be the best feeling in the world to have, to be able to watch your kid to develop in this way. But anyway, that's pretty much what I have, guys. Please like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. What do you think about the draft? What do you like most about the draft? What do you think about these next draft picks, right? And so comment below. I'll be more than happy to respond to your comments. Have a good night.